Hey guys, Common Man. I got something I think really interesting to talk to you about today, and it very much involves the Cybertruck, at least from my perspective, and really honestly from the perspective of anyone who is considering buying a Cybertruck, just in the sense of there are options out there. You can buy a Cybertruck or you can do something else. And we're going to talk about one of those something else's, which is leasing a Nissan Leaf. By the way, try to say that 3 times fast. Anyway, sorry. The Cybertruck would cost me $120,000 to get the Legacy Edition that's available right now. And let's compare that to getting the Nissan Leaf, or in other words, leasing the Nissan Leaf would cost me $2,000 approximately for a 2-year span of time, to be able to have use of that car for a 2-year span of time. And here's just sort of a fun way to look at this. So for the cost of a Cybertruck, one Cybertruck, $120,000, I would control one Cybertruck. But for that same price, I could control an entire fleet of Nissan Leafs, 60 of them. So, not that I want a fleet of Nissan Leafs, but anyway, it's just kind of a fun little way to play with the numbers and kind of put things in perspective. So there you have it on that. In order to get the Cybertruck, I would have to come up with the money to pay for it. So I would likely, at today's prices, have to sell 816 shares of Tesla just to be able to buy that one Cybertruck. So if you compare it to the Nissan Leaf, I wouldn't have to come up with any money up front. I could just walk into a dealership, which, by the way, spoiler alert, I am almost for sure going to go to a Nissan dealership tomorrow to look to test drive one of these Nissan Leafs. And I might walk away very easily, might walk away with a vehicle. So this is getting very real for me. So if I walked away with a vehicle, I would pay nothing down, and I would then make 24 or maybe 23. I need to clarify on that, but it's a 2-year lease and you don't have to make the first payment. So possibly there's only 23 payments that need to be made at $89. So anyway, it's just a couple $1,000 to, but nothing down. So, and then just very small payments each month. So I could hold on to all my Tesla stock, which is right now way undervalued as I see it. So on the one hand, I'd have to sell a lot of Tesla stock, meaning if I wanted to get a Cybertruck, I'd have to sell a lot of Tesla stock just to do it, versus if I do the Nissan Leaf approach, I could sell no stock and let the stock appreciate up to the value that I think it's worth. And at that point, I wouldn't necessarily sell it unless I needed the money, because I see Tesla as a very, very long-term holding. So anyway, there's all that. So what is better for Tesla, me buying a Cybertruck, one of them, or me leasing this Nissan Leaf? So it's better for Tesla if I lease a Leaf. Try to say that 3 times fast. Sorry. So they would prefer it, I'm sure, if I hung on to my 816 shares of stock and continued to support this company that I deeply believe in, and I deeply believe in their mission. So I don't want to sell those shares. And Tesla doesn't need my Tesla doesn't need my Cybertruck order. There's 2 million people in line waiting for a Cybertruck. They don't need me to order a Cybertruck now. At some point, I'll own a Tesla, but I don't now, and maybe I will soon. I have the option to buy a Model Y now. I could buy a Cybertruck the next time they offer one to me, etc. By the way, I have 61 on order right now, Cybertrucks. So I may end up with a Cybertruck soon, or I may not. I may end up with a Nissan Leaf very soon. I may not. So there's all that. I'm just going to throw in, as part of this topic, what's better for the environment? Me getting a Nissan Leaf, me getting a Cybertruck, or me just hanging on to my current vehicle, which, by the way, is a Nissan, all gas powered. It's a Nissan Versa. So I think the best thing for the environment would be if I continue to hold on to my gas car, because someone's going to grab up this Nissan Leaf. There's not that many of them out there, and it's a hell of a deal. So someone's going to be trading in their gas vehicle. It doesn't have to be me. And by the way, I put very few miles on my gas vehicle. I ride my bike most of the time. But occasionally I do need a vehicle. And this is a low miles. It's got about 50,000 miles on it. Vehicle that is very reliable. So I'm just mentioning what's better for the environment. So we covered what's best for Tesla, what's best for the environment. What about me? What's best for me? So we're going to talk about that just a little bit. I think best for me is not buying a Cybertruck right now. I think better for me would be hanging on to my current vehicle, or even better, I think, is getting the Nissan Leaf, because I'm going to say this. I'm going to make the argument right here, right now, that the Nissan Leaf would be free. Why wouldn't I just take a car for free? So what do I mean by free? So it's going to cost me over a period of time, not right away, just over a period of time, it'll cost a couple $1,000s. And it'll give me use of that car. And then I probably could buy it out at the end, and I might very well do that if that's the direction I go. And I don't know. I got to find out more about this deal, exactly how certain things work, but there's probably a buyout clause, and it's probably a pretty good price. So yeah, I'd probably buy it out, but by then maybe I would want to own a Cybertruck or whatever. So anyway, that cost a couple $1,000s. That's a cost. How can I say it's free? Well, let's talk about that. So right now I'm driving a gas car, and with the cost of putting gasoline in it versus the cost of charging this Leaf that I could get tomorrow, I think I would save over the 2-year span more than a couple $1,000. Actually $2,080. But that's still a little bit less than the cost that the Leaf would be to lease. But it's almost exactly the same. But anyway, so that's not entirely free. But where does the rest of the free part come in? So the rest of the free part is I would take this vehicle that I'm in right now, and I would sell it, and I would buy Tesla stock. That's what I would do. If I did this lease, I would sell this car that I'm in right now, and I would get Tesla stock. And I would get 34, it would be 30, at today's prices, I would get 34 shares that I think are worth way more. And I think that within 2 years, those shares will be worth $300 a share. They're actually worth more than that, I believe. But Wall Street hates Tesla. You probably agree with me on that if you're in the Tesla community. But Wall Street hates Tesla. And that's why I think you can get Tesla at a bargain price as a stock, almost always, and certainly now, I think the stock is worth at least $500 a share. But let's say that it would be worth 2 years from now, 300. That means that me selling this car for $5,000, which is what I think I could get for it. Maybe I could get more, but anyway, let's say I sold it for $5,000 and bought those 34 shares. That 2 years from now they'd be worth $10,000. So, considering that leasing the Leaf, when you factor in the gas savings alone, that means the Leaf would cost me almost nothing. And if I could then get rid of this car that I'm in right now, and turn that into a profit in the stock market of $10,000, now worth $10,000, 2 years in the future worth $10,000. That's what I predict. By the way, not stock advice. Do your own research. But I'm just brainstorming here. That is a likely outcome, in my opinion. So, and then if you want to be even more aggressive, and this is what I might do, I'll just give you an example of a way that I could sort of leverage this $5,000 investment. I could get a pretty deep in the money option that expires 2 years from now, and the strike price would be 110 is what I'm picturing. That would be expiring in January of 25. That's actually only a year and a half from now, but anyway, you get the idea. So in the future, I would have the right to buy shares for $110, and I'm predicting that by then it'd be worth 300 or whatever. So I think regardless of exactly what the option at that point would be worth, it would be a way to, it would be worth more than $10,000 if it got up to, say, 300. But the point is, using derivatives, you can gain a lot more alpha. And obviously, if things don't work out for you, you can lose a lot more. But speaking optimistically, I'm going to say that might be what I would choose to do. Buy that one option, controlling 100 shares, and that if things went well, and because it's deep in the money, it's not like a Hail Mary gamble maneuver. It's a serious investment. So we'll be talking more about options at some point on this channel, but I just wanted to bring it up right now because it's an interesting part of this whole equation that I'm trying to analyze. What should I do? Should I get a Cybertruck? Should I lease a Leaf, or just do nothing and just hang on to this gas-powered car? We will find out in the future, so stay tuned. And that's it for now. See ya.